Welcome back, everybody, to Enemies of the Fire, where we are having a little bit of a tussle in Brussels here over how long of a leash that we want to really give Gregg Berhalter as both director and head coach of the Chicago Fire.
I don't think you separate it for sure. You guys, so just to reiterate your stance, James is on board, right? You're 2-3 years
easily.
You're two. But wait,
I start 2 years in, I can start to question, but 3 years in, I'm signed up for.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it.
How do you feel?
I'm a 3-year plan. I'm a 3-year plan guy. The first year, you gotta let the man cook. You gotta let the man figure this team out. You're not gonna sign a few players and automatically you're gonna be playoff contenders. You're not gonna be MLS contenders. It doesn't work that way in any professional sport. You're talking about baseball, NFL, NHL. It doesn't work that way. You gotta give that head coach enough time to make adjustments. To say, hey, you know what? That didn't work, or this guy didn't work. Let's try something else. But by the second year, whatever issues he had in the first year, he got rid of. He should be hitting the ground running this time. And whether or not he's MLS contender, that's going to depend on what changes he made. But if by the third year nothing has changed and it's been 2 losing seasons in a row, then at that point, you got to cut him loose.
There's no way they're going to lose with Weston McKennie, but we'll get into that.
You all are crazy. You all are crazy. Listen, 134% of the teams in Major League Soccer make the playoffs. The
Chicago Fire haven't made the playoffs since 2018.
There's 93 spots open. If he misses the playoffs year one, because let's not forget, he has 2 open DP slots. He has 3 TAM spots that'll be open. He has 1 or 2 young DPs or whatever he could sign. This is going to be Gregg Berhalter's team. If the Fire miss the playoffs year one, Berhalter.
You're wrong.
You can get everybody.
This is still Frank Klopas' team. This is still Georg Heitz's team. Who's striker? No. Kuipers? Not Gregg's guy. Gregg's going to have to work with Kuipers because Georg has saddled him with his team.
On top of that, you're not going to get all your guys. You're not going to get all your guys in 1 year.
And to speak to what DPG's talking about, you're not going to be able to undo the tactical damage that has been done to Guti in just half of a season.
You literally had to rebuild Guti again, and I don't even think he's one of the guys that's going to stay on
from the ground up.
If you miss the playoffs, you're gone, dude.
If you miss the playoffs with Weston McKennie as your DP, I would agree with you. It'd be sad.
Not a chance.
I'm not high on Winston McKennie. Okay, I'm not you guys know this. All right, you guys know this. All right. So considering the playoff format of the MLS, I can see where Toka's coming from, where we end up finishing the last 4 or 5 teams at the bottom, whatever. If it's honestly, you gotta give him the first year. You gotta let him kind of get that MLS cobwebs, the rust off. The next year you gotta make sure. Obviously, he's gonna make the playoffs. He has to make the playoffs. But
I think he can make playoffs in year one. If he doesn't make playoffs in year one, I would be disappointed because look at what Frank has done with this horrible team. They're in last place, but they're still only 9 or 10 points out of the difference out of the playoffs. Yeah. I feel like Triple G should bring enough to this team where he could brace them up 3 wins.
And again, the whole point is,
that's still a mega ask for just a coach. He has to deal with the talent that is here.
Not only that, he's going to be calling the shots on who comes into this team.
The new guys, not the old guys. The old guys, he's going to be able to ship off the easy deadwood, right?
Yeah. The new guys, he'll get to pick out the players he wants and he needs, all right? He might not get all his guys.
He won't get all his guys. That's soccer. You never get all your guys.
You have to. You have all the spots open. If we go into this season, we haven't signed both DP spots.
I don't believe that's going to happen under his.
I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to use it up.
He's going to have 3 guys, and if he misses on the first one, he's getting the second. If he misses on the second, he's getting the third. This guy has the ability. This is what's interesting about Triple G. He's got guys. He's got guys that will follow him to the end of the earth that we don't even know about, but are good at soccer. He's got them. He's got him in tow. He might not have everybody. He might not have the whole of U.S. soccer being biting at the bits to go train under Gregg Berhalter. But I guarantee you there's a sizable majority of talent that wants to go work for the previous head manager of the U.S. men's national team in MLS, where they have a chance to not only leapfrog others because they're getting trained by a U.S. men's national team coach, former U.S. but they're getting elevated by that play, by that coach.
Keep in mind, too, one thing that's been overlooked so far is the fact that he's going to be doing this with Joe Mansueto's wallet.
Yes!
That part I do agree with.
With Joe Mansueto's wallet.
Fucking go. A guy who knows MLS players, who knows how the limitations, knows talent abounds the international world beyond the MLS, and he's got the pocketbook.
If we take all the money, if we take all the money that the Fire has spent over the last 4 or 5 years on players, which right now is probably ranging between the 60 and the 70 million. Imagine what Gregg Berhalter will be able to do with 60, 70 million.
Because he understands MLS in a way that Georg Heitz never did.
Well, okay. I know the exciting thing is who's coming. But before we talk about who's coming, God,
who's going? Who's going?
Let's talk about who's potentially
who's
going.
Staying.
Who's staying?
Who's staying?
Okay, I gotta bring up the roster.
I'm doing that right now.
I'm
pulling up the roster.
Hold on. Alphabetically first.
Are you doing it on the Fire app?
No, I'm on the computer. But
oh crap! Hold on. Here, let me see. Yeah,
I mean, who starts? Let's just think starters. Like I know bench players and whatever, what have you.
Let's just go. Does Suke meet the quality? Suke could work for him.
He's gonna be off the bench.
I don't want him, but Suke could work.
Yeah,
right?
He might just be like deaf.
He's deaf. Turan, he might be able to work with Turan.
He could work with Turan, but I think Turan's already got 1 foot out the door kind of thing. Like, it doesn't matter about the new coach. He kind of needs a new.
He's too injury prone too.
That is true.
He's too injury prone. He's too injury prone.
I agree. Rafa Chihos
He's gone.
I think he's gone.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You think he'll accept a limited role?
I think he'll accept a limited role. He likes Chicago, and under Triple G, he could accept a limited role. He'll see probably a decent amount of time in a 3-man back line.
Keep in mind who's going to be deciding his contract. Mm-hmm. And I don't think compared the drop off of performance he had from last year to now, it's like astronomical. It's
astronomical.
Crazy.
It is.
And the thing is that. I think Rafa just wants to kind of get out. He wants to go back to Germany. He wants to do whatever he wants to do.
I could see that.
Peace.
I think honestly I can kind of see that from the butt. And I get that. The man, he put up with a lot of crappy coaches, so I don't blame him. If he wants to go back to Europe,
it's time. It's time for him to move on for a change of scenery.
But he would be. I feel like Triple G could work with him as a depth piece. Marin Haile Selassie is gone.
Gone? I don't think so because I think he signed a long-term, or not a long-term, but a couple-year deal last season. So I think, to be honest, I think he's a bench player. I think he's coming off the bench.
Chris Mueller?
In a perfect world, he'll come off the bench for Berhalter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Mueller, probably gone.
I hope so.
I don't think he's staying.
The problem is here's the thing. He's like the perfect prototype of a Berhalter guy. He's Rizless. He's underachieving. I feel like he's going to really – I think he's going to buy high on the Chris Mueller thing, unfortunately.
I wanted Chris Mueller to be successful in this
He's an American.
I really want – I want – he's a Schaumburg kid. He's a local kid. I wanted him to be be one of the pillars for this club. Now, whether or not Gregg Berhalter keeps him, if he keeps him, great. I'm all for it because maybe Gregg Berhalter might do something that might change his playing style. You never know. That happens.
Yes.
But if he's gone, then hey, tough luck.
He's droppable. He's definitely droppable.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, we need Americans or players with green cards. And Chris Mueller is an American, and we've only gone through international players before this.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Mueller off the bench again, I'm okay with. Mueller being a integral part of this team. No.
Well, if we want to talk integral parts,
that depends. If his game, evolves and gets better, You can't
It's
deny
not.
the man.
It's not,
Which
but
is, you know, yeah.
but he's an MLS depth sub right now, and that's
Yeah,
all.
word.
That's probably his peak
Yeah.
at this moment going forward.
I mean, after all, you guys were hyping up what's his face, Herberts to be a starter.
On
on this team under this administration, yes, but let's get not under Triple G.
Okay. Let's go on.
If we are going to talk about certifiable starters for Triple G, Hugo Kuipers is penciled in for sure. He's going to be looking at Hugo Kuipers' game and he's going to be like, how do I maximize this player's game?
How do you get the ball on his feet on the last second before that goal goes in?
Where does he finish best? Where does he do his best work, and how do you get him the ball in that place?
Yeah, he's a box in the box, man. He's gonna get that. He cleans shit up, man. Hugo, here's the thing. The one good signing that Heights ever did, Hugo came in on big dollars with a lot on his shoulders, and he was by far the best player this season. By far. Absolutely. Like any other pick would be vibes. Like Hugo was by far our best player.
So the next player is, and I'm going to go on a lark here and say this guy is going to be okay in Gregg Berhalter's system. He'll at least he might even be a starter. Ariel Lassiter.
Nah, gone.
He might play. He might play in Gregg's system.
I've been terrified. I've really hated
Justin Miram was a star in his system.
So Ariel Lassiter, I don't want him to be the focal point.
No.
As we were mentioning last week, and I mean it's you know what, if there's better wingers in this league.
Guys, think about this. They've been talking with Gregg Berhalter for weeks. They signed Ariel Lassiter for Gregg Berhalter.
That's what I'm afraid of.
They signed. They're like, okay, this is a guy that Gregg will be able to work with. He handpicked him. He said, hey, you guys should probably snag this talent, Ariel Lassiter. And they're like, okay, Gregg, we will. Boom. I think that's what happened there with Ariel Lassiter. Maybe he's not a starter, but he's a building block for Gregg.
I will see him on the bench. If he comes off the bench, I'm all for it. I don't think he should be a starter.
I think he can start in Gregg's system.
If you're talking about, hold on, James, if you say he's a starter, he's starting over Gutman.
At left back?
Well, I mean, we don't play with wingers.
Wing. Okay.
We don't play with wingers and backs. We only play with wings. That's it. That's why I hate that setup.
I also wonder if over the past few weeks that Gregg has gently requested to Frank to try out a few ideas and to show him a few things with this roster about putting guys into certain spots.
I think you're reading too much into it.
I bet you that happened.
So.
I do want to know why I guaranteed that happened. Because look at Frank Klopas' inclusion in Gregg Berhalter's setup. He's already included. The only reason he's getting included, he's probably doing a little side work for Gregg in the background.
You know why he's getting included? This is more or less just Joe Mansueto, being the owner of this club, just wants to give Frank, the fact that he had to force Frank to coach this team this year, he probably wants to give Frank a nice, cushy job that he can write off into the sunset. Like, he's not that, this is basically Frank doing him a favor. And that's it. Like,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think why would you keep Frank around it?
Because Frank knows MLS. Frank has been around MLS. Frank announces MLS. Frank has been knee deep in MLS last whole season. He's got knowledge. He's got experience. He's got something that he can bring to the table. And this is burning inside of his chest. This crest is emblazoned on Frank's back. He's got the tattoo.
No, I
Frank
mean,
is assistant to the director of football.
He just wants to help. He's a team player. That's how I think of Frank.
Frank will thankfully never be a topic of conversation again. Thankfully,
no, it's not. And you know what? And honestly, I
think they send him out to talk to people sometimes.
No. The farther that Frank Klopas gets away from anything involving the style of play on the field, or player recruitment, the better.
Disagree about the player recruitment. Agree about the style of play.
Well, okay, he's a cheerleader. He's a cheerleader for the club. I feel what you're saying. James.
Yes.
So hold on. We got more guys we got to get through here. We haven't even hit the meat of the Brian Gutierrez situation.
All right, well, let's Tom Barlow gone. Tobias Salquist gone. Andrew Gutman might hang on.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people are still hyped about Gutman being the starter, and again, it's a Gutman or Lassiter thing. We're not going to see them both.
They play different positions. Gregg could play a four-man in the back, and then all of a sudden Gutman's back out there, and Lassiter's in there.
If Gregg plays 4 men in the back, then Lassiter doesn't have a space here because there's no
he can play
way
left midfielder.
There's no way that you.
It is 4-2-2 that 4-2-2-2. 4-2-2-2-2 that we discussed.
Why?
I don't know.
Such a terrible idea.
Let's move on. Salquist gone.
I think so.
I'm sorry, Ohmsberg. I don't think so.
I think he's done. His contract's out of. Yeah, they won't re-sign him.
Guti, easy. He's here. They're going to try and rebuild Guti.
Is it easy? Because here's the thing. I think most people are like, yeah, but like if he's got a real agent, his agent saying get out now.
His agent saying you're going to be able to get coached by the former head national team of the U.S. men's national team. I guarantee you his agent's like, this is a very good chance here if Gregg's already talking to him. Gregg could already be talking to him.
I feel like, I don't think Gregg is going to be involved until today, until he put pen to paper.
Yeah. Gregg was involved weeks before this guy.
I don't really
they had conversations. They were negotiating.
1,000% guarantee how I know soccer works.
The man literally had an interview with San Jose. Do you think you're going to let someone manage your club when he's interviewing with another club?
He's checking out his options.
No, you can't. It doesn't make any sense. Why the hell?
We're going steady. You give me your ideas.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Who do you think is going to be the more attractive situation in terms of recruiting? You got a former U.S. men's national team guy that has played against some of the best teams in the world.
Played in a World Cup. I mean,
World Cup.
Coached the World Cup.
So he knows all the situations, the stresses, and all that. Do you want that guy to talk to you to recruit you to his club team, or do you want Frank Lopez to recruit you?
Oh, you want Triple G? Yeah.
You need them both. You need them both. You need the credentials of Gregg and the vibes of Klopas. You need them both.
I guarantee you the vibes of Klopas offset the very even kilter of Triple G. Toke said his message even was a little. It felt low energy, but that's where Klopas comes in. He's got a little bit of that high energy to offset that.
So DPG, when you dropped out for a second, we talked about Gutierrez. I feel like he might be on the way out.
No way, really?
He's gone.
Wow, I'm saying he's still here. I think he's going to be working with Triple G.
I don't think he should be a focal point to this club anymore.
I agree. I agree with that too.
I'll tell you why.
He's American though. We're finding it hard to keep Americans on this team.
You're not wrong.
Given Guti, you're not wrong, but we have given Guti a couple of years now. He has been more or less so inconsistent that it's kind of gotten to a point that now, at this point right now, he's kind of on a downturn. Like he hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything the past couple of weeks.
I don't know. I think he might leave just based on him trying to get to Europe. But beyond that, I think him staying would be a good thing for the team and his career.
Guys, this year he's scored the most goals he's ever scored.
Yeah, but look, he scored those goals during the first half of the season.
Yeah,
now
he scored early. You're right.
Now he's kind of quiet. Now he's not doing much.
I don't think that Frank has really developed him.
No, not at all. You're 100% correct.
If Gregg keeps him and nothing happens with him, he's gone by next year.
All right.
Maybe if we don't see enough flashes out of him, we'll move on to the next player, and that is Spencer Ritchie. Gone.
Nah, I mean you need an American to sit around on the bench.
Guys. You need an American, but Georgios Koutsias?
Gone, hard gone.
I would like. I'll put it this way.
Nope.
If Tom Barlow is gone, I'd take Koutsias as the third striker.
He's still 20.
A different backup.
He's 20 years old.
Oh, you know what? Actually, no. You know what? Actually, move him and bring up the kid. What's his face? The golden boot ringer.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Glasgow.
Yeah. Glasgow.
So yeah. So I think Koutsias is gone. I don't. he was okay, but it's just his. I don't know.
Well, it's an international spot, man.
Yeah, it's yeah. He's
All right,
gone.
what's next on your list, there,
Fabian
James?
Herbers, the
I mean-
ultimate Swiss Army knife. I guarantee you, he's got to stay.
No, he's gone. His contract's up. And
If his contract's up, he might be gone. But and I guarantee you, Gregg's got a better Swiss Army knife than Fabian Herbers up his
Yeah,
sleeve.
yeah.
Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, and I like Fabian. Mauricio
I agree.
Pineda,
I think he's gone, unfortunately.
American
unless-
homegrown. We gotta keep one of
Yeah.
them. That's Guti right now.
Well,
for me.
here's the thing. Pineda, as much as I like Mauricio Pineda, I think this season he really hasn't done much, and I think it's hard to argue to keep him on the team after this season.
See,
Like,
I'd actually disagree. I, as a personal human, like his game, and I think he.
Where
would
do you
do
play
better with
him,
more.
Toke? Where do you
Right,
play
exactly.
him? What
Well, no,
his
no, you play-
game?
No, center defense. He's a way better defender than midfielder. Way better. And I would, like I said, I think he needs more reps. And so if I was choosing, I'd keep him. But from everything I see with my eyes, I feel like the club is moving away from him. That's why I say he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. I think I'm telling you, that backline's gonna look a lot different next season.
I hope you're right.
You know who is going to look
Um,
different next season? I guarantee you is a linchpin in the Gregg Berhalter system. The man I got up next, number 23 for the Chicago Fire, Kellen Acosta.
Oh yeah.
He's staying. Yeah, he's gonna
Lock.
stay.
Oh,
yeah.
captain, he's the captain.
Lock.
Yeah.
He's just the captain. That's it. I mean, Kellen Acosta quietly had a decent year. He didn't do anything other than the fucking wind assisted goal, but he didn't
Yeah.
do anything extremely out of the ordinary that to show his class. But he survived in a crappy midfield.
He's 29
I
years
think
old
it-
still, too.
Here's
you
the
got
thing about
3
Kellen
more years
Acosta.
out of him at least.
You put other players around him that can make it work, and it's like all of a sudden it's like you get a much better Kellen Acosta.
Well-
Like everything's hitting on all cylinders.
You know what my dream is? It's the Acosta, Yunus Musa type, and Brian Gutierrez in the center there.
Well,
Oh,
how
man.
about Acosta and
No,
Weston
don't
McKennie?
say it. We're gonna get to it.
all
You
right,
said
yeah.
it like twice.
All
We're
right,
getting to it.
All right, so let's go back to the next guy. But the next guy is, I think some Fire fans would love to see this guy around next season. And to be honest, he's kind of developed in a way that I feel like Guti hasn't. It's Jonathan Dean.
Yeah, Jonathan Dean's here. He's not an MLS starter yet. He just
He's
isn't,
not he's not.
but he's developing nicely. Good.
If
for
you want to bring him off the bench, by all means, keep him on
let's
board.
keep giving him reps, man.
Guys. He's not a spring chicken anymore. He's not a kid. He's 27 years old.
What?
You didn't know that?
No,
Yeah, he's in.
I thought he was a kid.
Dean's gone.
Oh,
Dean is
yeah.
gone.
Yeah, you're right. Dean's
yeah.
gone.
I
At that
think
age.
with Greg, the way Greg might want to set up this club, it might, he might be gone. Actually, he might want to go younger.
By the way,
Man.
we're worried about like all the Americans on the club. Craig's got a freaking stash of Americans.
Yeah, he do.
He got a
do.
whole list, man.
He
Come
got
on.
a whole list that are
He
better
has
than
got
Johnny Dean,
Tigers.
better
He's
than
got
Mauricio
Tigers
Pineda,
side.
better than Spencer
to
Ritchie,
decide the national
better than
team
Wyatt
for.
Ohmsberg, better than Gutman, better than Barlow, better than Mueller. He's got at least 10, 20, 30 guys that are better than these guys.
God, you are drinking the Kool-Aid. All right, who's next?
The
All right,
next
who's
guy
next?
is Jeffrey Gall, goalkeeper,
No,
gone.
no. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Keep going.
Ellen Aragoni, who's still on loan from Lugano.
I would like to see him stay, but I don't
really
think they're-
would.
I don't think they're
Here's
gonna.
my thing. I like Aragoni. If Greg can make him work, by all means, go for it. But if like the loan is, they end the loan and that's it. No, he goes back to Switzerland. Then I can live with that. I honestly think that, Greg might have something better. Who knows?
I hope so. I
He-
would take a Shaq Moore or a DeAndre Yedlin. I would
Joe Scaley.
maybe-
Ellen
Yeah.
Aragoni is 25, but I still think you could build with him. He's definitely a
All right.
player with this team that you could build with.
I liked him. Anyway, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, I like him, but I mean, I'm not gonna be heartbroken if he leaves.
This next
Fair.
one, it'll rock Fire fans' world if he's still here. Gaston Jimenez.
Oh, he is out. He has to be out. Like,
Just for our mental health, he has to go.
Well, not only that, but think about it. If we were looking, going back to that stream, that video we saw of Gregg Berhalter explaining tactics, he wants someone that's active, not someone that's gonna jog
You're
back.
right. He steps on the ball constantly. You're
Guys,
He
I have a
wants somebody.
shocking fact for you.
What?
How many appearances, without looking, do you think that Gaston Jimenez has for the Chicago Fire since he joined in 2020?
right. Oh
over
God.
100. Over 100.
Over 100. Yeah.
116.
Oh. And it's that just shows how bad this club is. It's like, man, a guy like Gaston Jimenez, Mr. I want to jog back when I lose the ball. Yeah, that's the kind of player that can stick around.
You know what? I won't be like Greg out. I won't be that crazy. But I will be very unhappy if Gaston Jimenez is still on the roster.
What if he makes him serviceable?
He's not gonna make him. You
If
can't
that
make a guy
happens,
that's
you know what? If that
cannot make a
happens,
guy-
I'll gladly look like a fool. But
This
like,
next
don't-
next
don't play with
player,
my
a
heart.
little interesting because I mean they came in with a little heat, they came in with a little hype, they flashed a little their first season, their second season they were really built up, kind of fell, and then the third season like they're struggling to get on the field. I'm talking about Federico Navarro.
You know, I love Federico Navarro. Listen, we were on stream. We streamed last week. That was in lieu of a regular podcast. And he came on the field, and I told James how excited I was because he just is chaos. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It's just straight chaos. And as I'm saying this, he walks on the field and proceeds to immediately get a yellow card. It's as I'm saying this. So, like, I love him for the vibes and the ridiculousness, but like the talent, the raw talent was there, but it's not materialized, and we are not in a place to develop. We need wins.
How old do you
not only
think
this-
Federico? How old do you think he is?
He's like 20. He's
22?
23.
24.
Well, see,
So, keep in
I'm
mind-
done.
Keep in mind, this guy was a U22 player. Now, if he still has that tag, I think we have to move on and give that tag to someone else that we can, rebuild and go from there. I mean, cool. Federico Navarro was great the first year,
Well,
but I mean, if you can't keep
so-
up that kind of,
Now, sorry to interrupt, but these two, Gaston and Navarro, are signed through next season. One of them, the buyout will have to be used on.
Federico Navarro has a
Yeah.
deal that could go up to $5 million for the purchase with his old team Talares. That's crazy.
No, thank you.
Wow.
Send us. Get him out of here.
Get
man.
him out.
All right.
yeah.
All right. Next.
Moving on, and this one, this is going to be a hot item. The best player of the Chicago Fire, probably most of the season, not playing out in the outfield. It's goalkeeper number 34, Chris Brady.
That's a hard keep.
Yeah, I will say this. I said this in a previous podcast, and I know I sound like a lunatic. I am more than happy to keep Brady, but part of me is like, sell him to Europe, take a portion of that cash, and sign Matt Turner. But I
like your
live with
idea.
Brady.
I actually like your idea, but I'm not convinced that Matt Turner's an upgrade on Chris Brady. I think it's,
he's
keep
not.
in mind.
I
Keep
think
in
it's
mind.
more
Keep
of the
in mind.
same. I want somebody
No.
who's a little bit more able to.
No, but
to
not
play
only
with their
that, not only
feet.
that. You guys gotta look at the bigger picture here, though. You're not gonna get a salary cap hit with Chris Brady, but you are gonna get a salary cap hit with Matt Turner.
Yeah, I thought that would be offset by how much you make off the Brady sale, but I don't know, man. He's a great shot stopper. I don't know why people haven't tried to poach him already.
He's a great shot stopper. I agree. But here's why people aren't poaching him. It's because every other coach in the world wants a keeper who's a former left back.
Well, fair, but I mean, Brady is not incompetent with his feet.
No,
He's
well,
just-
you know what it is, guys, is that our
Distribution.
backline is so crappy that Brady's basically freaking trying to stop as much as he can. And unfortunately, you can't stop them all.
I'm pro Brady. I'm pro Brady. 100%.
I want to keep Brady because first of all, he's a low salary cap hit. you're gonna get just as good as of a productivity as you would get with Matt Turner, without paying Matt Turner price, because Matt Turner's not gonna come here for no 100K or 200K.
He should.
No.
He needs to come back with his tail between his legs.
Wow.
No, he ain't. He's gonna make demands.
Going over this roster is just making it clear that Gregg Berhalter is going to overhaul this roster radically.
I hope so. Yeah, because we only had a consensus on 3 starters / we think he might want Ari Lassiter.
The next 4 guys aren't even worth mentioning.
No, don't even mention them.
Sergio Oragel, Justin Reynolds, Javier Casas, and Chase Gaspar, in addition to Misael Rodriguez, Victor Becerra, Brian Dowd, and Lawrence Wooten.
They're all supplemental parts, which is fine.
Yeah, they're all going to be in Fire 2. I don't care if they're in Fire 2. Just,
it's okay. So we only had a consensus on 3 starters, which means we got to sign a lot of people. And speaking of, I heard a lot of rumors. Oh, actually, before we get into that, can I ruin your guys' night?